That looks a little better. There's a chat. Cool. That worked out. All right, we're back. We'll let everybody pile in here. Yes, sir, it is. Morning, everybody. Sorry about that. For some reason, the chat was all messed up. Quick little restart, no big deal. What's up, Sanford? Morning, Terry. Oliver. What's going on, Anthony? What's up, Mike? Morning. Nice to turn on the chat bar. You know how it goes. Morning, Joel. Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning, good morning. So we're going to hop right into it. I didn't get a whole bunch of planning time for this lesson, so these are going to be a little bit more fun and raw. So I want to talk about extensions versus retracements and retracements with extensions. So we get a lot of questions on YouTube and DMs where draw points, right, are going to be very selective with your Fibonacci. Now, this is going to be based off intraday. We'll move into a little bit of weekly daily if we got some time a little bit later, right after the giveaway. I'll do some questions and some other stuff as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk Fibonacci high-low points mixed with extensions, okay? And I want to get you guys a little bit more familiar with the style of high-low fibbing, because you could draw fibs any which way, and we have a lot of systems for Fibonacci's, because when you draw a Fibonacci, it's not if the Fibonacci is going to work, it is when, like we always say. So there are many, many, many ways to draw these Fibonacci points, right? We're going to go over a couple small examples here just on the intraday to start. We're going to talk about confirmation with the high-low range. Then we're going to talk about extensions and overlapping. Now, of course, these are all tools in your arsenal. And if you feel more familiarized with one of these tools, I want you guys to be using these tools, okay? You don't have to force yourself to use fibs on a 1 minute time frame or a 5 like I do, or the opening 5 or the data 5 breakaway that we do on live stream every time we get data in our private group. You guys don't have to follow through with those super fast scalp trades a lot of the times. I want to show you guys to start predicting high-low ranges as well. So with the SPY open, we'll get into it. Obviously, we had quite the wash day on Friday, so we're not going to worry too much about those. Let's go to like a similar to something like a chop day, because these are very useful in chop days, especially with the high-low ranges on Fibonacci. And if you're not familiar with Fibonacci, there are very 2 points of interest where you're going to find a retracement and an extension. So when you pick 2 points of interest, high and low, like we did right here, that is just the high of the day and the low of the day. We put these on every single day here at BRT, and then we focus on the golden pocket, right, which is in between the 61.8 and 38.20. Both are very, very, very relevant. So how do we use these to help us out on intraday, just to help form trend, give extra confirmations to moving averages, and like we did the last Saturday lesson, anchor VWAPs? Well, as a day trader and scalper, I like to use high-low ranges and large candles a lot of the time. You'll see me where we get opening candles like this just on a 5 minute chart, and I'm going to play extensions, okay? Extensions are when the Fibonacci are targeted outside the box, okay? Because if we make a fib box, and this is high-low right here, just off the 5 minute, we got the golden pocket, that's retracement, okay? Because the Fibonacci has a retracement value back to the golden pocket. Extension is outside, right? So if I were to draw this extension on the 5 minute chart here, I'm looking for a breakout of the 5 minute candle playing the extensions outside the box, looking for the upside move to hit my Fibonacci extension, because obviously it is extended outside the box, right? Fibonacci retracement is where you're going to use a tool to the high-low. We use retracement more than extension because it is a high-low. So let's take this little impulse bounce that we had seen here on the 27th, where we hit a high of day right here, returned back to the VWAP. The VWAP in the purple dashed line there pops, gives us to a lower high, and continues. Well, the little bit of this impulse pop right here that is designed just as a trend continuation, as we see here, it hit a lot of very certain points of interest on the intraday. So I'm very selective with where I draw something high-low. And let's do a little example. So this bounce that we're talking about, we have a ton of interest points right here on the bottom, big consolidation on the 5, and then the top of that lower high from the high of day, right? So what I did is I took my grouping of consolidation candles in the bottom, I went up to the top, the lower high, and I drew a Fibonacci. And what we see here is retracement value. So I'm trading after the high-low, so the point of interest start should actually be more like this for a visual, because I'm taking the high and the low point, okay? So nothing from this way on exists in data. So if we were to draw it way back here, high-low, well, that data already exists because it retraced to that top, right? So the high-low here going to the right, like we read a book left to right, the extensions are here. Now the retracement tool from this high-low, right? So if we just took that low right here to the high, pointed it up, down, doesn't matter, we're talking retracements. When it found a top, it retraced to the bottom of the fib. So we started the fib here, we found the top, it looked like it was breaking down, could be a lower high for the day, and it retraced to the 0% fib. So the retracement is inside the box, extensions outside the box. But why would this box be a little different than, let's say, this box down here? Because we're going to focus on where to draw these and why. So this high-low range here is going to be very different than this high-low range, right? Now, why is that? Well, because the price action is hitting multiple data points inside. You have a 100 EMA, you got a 200 SMA, you got a VWAP, all within the range of the first Fibonacci box we drew. And now this second Fibonacci box we drew down here doesn't have any of those. We just have this little blue 10 SMA cruising down here, you know, near that low. Well, then that means I would take this Fibonacci box, that bounce point, way more seriously than I would this guy. Do they both work in high-low ranges? Of course. It's not if a Fibonacci is going to work, it is when. So we're going to focus now on a couple points of interest on why we're going to be drawing those, okay? So this is going to be kind of on the fly. We're going to go to the futures because there's a lot of you guys that are also asking me about after-hours trading. You know, you guys don't have the time to get on the stream. You guys work first shift jobs. You're at the morning, 6 a.m. at the job, 2 p.m. You pretty much work market hours. Well, let's get into the futures charts and use some of these slower, right, times here where things like the dump at open, where you would have been at work and missed it, there might still be some trades for you back in the day here where you can get a more selective Fibonacci, right? I'm going to hide some of these studies here just so we get it cleaned up a little bit. What I'm going to leave on is the 100 EMA in the green, the volume weighted average price with the extensions of +2 minus deviation. So that purple goes +2 to the orange, purple goes -2 to the blue. Those are the deviations away from VWAP. So what we're going to focus on here is the high-low ranges first and where and why to draw them. Well, connecting points are extremely important for you after-hours traders because we're going to focus now on those low-volume times because there's times I wake up at 2, 3 in the morning, I want to trade the China session. There's times I play the 5 p.m. session, and there's stuff to do. And there's times where I'll trade the new session of the day off of the old session end, right? The close. So let's say the close here of 27, I'll play the 28 open. So let's go over a couple of those. Now, we're not going to focus on this huge dive dash that we had on Friday short. We're just going to focus on this open. So the dash line here in Thinkorswim says it right here, you know, open 1700 hour. And then it comes down a little bit and just kind of chop ranges. Okay. Well, I got a couple things to use here and I want to focus on high-low ranges first. Okay. And what do we see here? Well, we got a pretty good high-low range here that's kind of range bound, right? So if I were to look here and I see all these tops, a failed breakout, and we don't really know the launch down is coming, but what do we know about connecting points, okay? Points of interest. How many times does price action run into something? This happens on anchor VWAPs like our last test because let's say price action breaks over this 100 EMA in the green, and then it bangs into the 100 EMA 3 separate times while simultaneously creating lower highs. We have a potential to break that and continue. The same applies for Fibonacci, price levels, anchor VWAPs, because it gets exhausted in price. So if we get the high-low range here, I'm going to do the bottom first. I'm going to look on the bottom here, right? And just whatever high-low range you see, we peaked up. Here's a low and a high. Okay, well, I don't like those. I'm going to try to get as many connection points. So I'm not going to take the ultimate low or the ultimate high like a high-low range usually is drawn. I want to see the connecting points. I see a triple top, triple bottom, and I'm still trying to plan a trade for, you know, through the night here. Well, I'm going to grab the instance point right here where 1, 2, and 3, and then we don't know this exists yet, 4, is going to be wick points. So we're going to draw those right at where we get all of them, right? And then I'm going to go do the same to the top. So let's take a peek what that is. 1, 2, 3 points of interest. 1, 2, 3 points of interest. Okay, not bad. So I know that the high-low fib range here, and again, we don't know what's going to happen. We're not predicting it to the downside or anything like that. But if it breaks out of a consolidation range like this, you are able to draw these points high-low. You can even design your default think or swim tool. When you go into these, you can have all the positive, coefficients here, the numbers, and you can add curves, and you can just add the negative. So if you wanted to add the negative 0.026, so on and so forth, each, well, 0.26, not 0, 236, essentially like that. So you would have a negative, and you can add the negative curves to it. And when you add the negative curves, every time you draw a high-low point on the Fibonacci, it will put extensions up and down because you have positive and negative extensions. Well, I like to draw manually. That's just how I do it. So I just stick with that. But if you want the auto tool that would come in and you would just point it like this, it would automatically give you extensions below and above, utilizing just copy all the positives as negatives. So as a break range would go, I would go, okay, this is a high-low range. What do we do with that? Well, we're going to add confirmation with other indicators, right? If there is. So we got this 5-minute chart going now. We got this big consolidation, and I'm going to look at the oscillation indicators and see if they're helping me out with anything. Well, the MACD definitely is. So we're going to focus on the confirmation of the high-low range first. So we got this whole price action tag. We talked about the 3 tags on top, 3 tags on the bottom. We talk about oscillation indicators on the bottom here, MACD, showing us what? Well, we have a huge triple red wave setup with crossing moving averages that are putting in lower highs, with one little buy wave engulfed by a sell wave, right? So technically, I can look at this whole range as more sellers than buyers. Let's look at the RSI. A little bit of a double top in RSI and a lower low. Okay, well, that did break to a higher high. Sure. I'm not huge on relative strength index, but we're looking for confirmation outside the fib box first. Well, what would confirmation look like here? Well, just because something price action is stuck in consolidation would break out, and it would back test that zone. We call this confirmation, right? Because that back test is extremely important to produce strength, right? And when it clicked outside the fib range here, let me fix this box just a little bit so they're dead on here. It was kind of bugging me. There we go. So if the price action would have broke out and let's say hit an extension, my mindset goes, okay, well, we completed an upside hit on the 1618. We generally can go back down. But we notice here that price action actually did not hit that 1618 to the upside and then broke down. In this channel, we call that shying. This is also called the fresh high-low scam. So the market is really good at producing fake moves. You notice one back here too, where the uptrend was coming, higher low, higher high, snapped into a lower low, then went up again into this dirty consolidation. We know these happen a lot, so Fibonacci kind of helps us decipher through that, right? So check this out. As the consolidation moves like this, breaks out and fails, this is a shy. We talk about this a lot on the channel. Price action nears a target that it's supposed to hit, and it doesn't, and it just runs away. Well, what do we do with that? Well, a break of the 50. We already have sellers in control for multiple hours through the night here. We're still kind of lean to that downside. So we finally get a break, right? What does that break tell us in this consolidation high-low range? Well, it snapped out of the Fibonacci range, darted right through the 1618. This is also a sign right here. It did not want the support of the 1618 in the slightest. She slammed right into the 2618, and then it did something cool again. It did what? Shied the 3618, our third favorite, right? And then it went sideways and did absolutely nothing. While the MACD and the sideways action is working out and calculating, notice the moving average I've now broken through to the negative side of the MACD. The moving averages are trending underneath the 0 level. And if you have any confusion with the MACD, please go to the indicators we use section on this channel, and I'll show you exactly how I read MACD and the wave heights. So during this consolidation, that continued weakness, that breakthrough of the 1618 without a bounce, that shy of the 1618 of the above. Those are all signals in psychology saying the price action is extra weak. So we could have had a really good attempted entry. Let's going to close down these confirmations here quick. We would have had a really good opportunity here when this snapped back into the channel. Because again, we look for fresh high scams that don't quite make it to resistance. Fresh high, don't quite make it to resistance, then poof. The second it got trapped in that Fibonacci range, your short should have been way in, smashing in there. Because why? Limited risk now applies to entry because we have a shy fresh scam high that is broken inside the Fibonacci range. So it's going to have a hell of a time breaking back over and confirming. And again, if we short here, and even if it tags back to the 100, our stop zone has to be a trend above the zone, right? The fibs. Correct, right? Breaks out, breaks back into the fib, consolidation weakness, but the MACD, RSI is breaking, sellers have been in control, so a fresh high scam to dump would be a really tall tale sign for the market. That brings us to the last couple extensions. What did it do? Well, we shied that 3618, popped up to the 2618 and washed to the 4, and then even further, and then to my favorite, we shied the 666. Now, we don't use the 666 like we do the 3, the 4, and the 2. If you hit this sucker, just watch out. Don't even play. Just leave it alone. Find something else. The 666 is a very big counter trend extension. So those high-low ranges exist like this in real time in these small time frames. We're going to go through a couple of quick examples now. So we're going to speed this up since you guys got your bearings, right? And you guys are understanding why and where we're drawing connecting points, high lows, okay? And again, this is kind of we're doing it live here. So let's go find some, where would I draw these like in trend? Okay, Brandon, consolidation's fine. I understand it. Where would we draw it in trend? Okay, well, impulse moves that find support again on opposing metrics. So trend is developed very, it's easy to see higher low, higher highs, easy to see lower high, lower lows, but what trend or what can stop trend or confirm trend, right? Fibonacci's and price levels, right? So when you see a trend and you understand that, oh, let's say I go to my daily and Brandon always tells me to fib out the high low. I don't quite understand why yet, but he always says fib out this high low. So let's do a little example there for that. Let's do the red day here on Futes. I think this was a GP tag. Yeah, let's just pick a random day. I'm going to start. Bam. Extend it to the right. Let's go see what we get. And again, we're kind of doing this on the fly, so if it's a little floppy, please forgive me. As we roll in, all right, I like this one. This is pretty good here. We're going to delete that session gap. Cool. So high-low ranges, like we just talked about in the consolidation here, that's real low volume. They happen all the time, and they can be very high and very low, right? So if I go back here and I'm like, all right, I start this daily, the high-low is 326. I'm trying to plan out for 327. All right, because we fib out the prior day all the time. So 327 is obviously going to be the start point in which the high-lows start to matter. So here's the high-low. Here's the trade day. This is where we drew the high-low. This is the trade day we're planning for. So we move into this and we go, okay, well, what happened here? Well, we didn't really hit anything here. There's no tops because, again, this is prior. And our rule of thumb is if you are marking off this day, trading for here, you are looking for over under the fibs, right? So if you were to hold yesterday's lows, my rule is you have a shot to retrace to the golden pocket before you come back down. It just statistically happens more often than it doesn't. So scalpers like myself will go, okay, we're inside that daily range and we go to the GP. We know this. I've covered this a million times. But what happens when price action finally hits a GP like this, a first tag? First tag. Remember that. So as it comes in, we're like, okay, we got a range now. We got fresh lows. That's, I say algo a lot, but that is an algorithmic program where it's going, something new happened. That's what the algos are saying. Hey, something new happened, guys. Something new happened. Something, red alert. That's a fresh low. This is a fresh high. So you know it. We're going to take what? The high-low range. A fresh low is still a first event of something happening. A fresh high, high a day, a fresh low, low a day. Those are first time events. The algos care about those more than regular consolidation. So I'm going to take this low and I'm going to put it right to the double tag of that high low range. Okay. Now this is where it gets interesting. You're going to see that dump at the night. Okay, fine. Pushes back up, but this is what makes it interesting on how we use fibs here. It tagged the golden pocket. like we discussed, every day we draw the prior day high low, we utilize the golden pocket. That's this right here, 61.8. So when it held yesterday's lows, did a little scam fresh low, slammed everybody's head against the wall and went, all right, now what are you gonna do with it? We have a high low range that now has first tag algorithmic metrics with first low, or lowest low rather, metrics. These are important to the algo. So once we see that slam and it comes from a low, we fib it out. This is all the data we're pretending we have right now, okay? We're using high-low point. And I'm like, oh man, look at that. The point of resistance from the prior day's golden pocket is extremely important here. So I know once this starts to break down structure, here's the structure break, right? Because this is all consolidation with all higher low, higher highs, structure break on the 5. All right, draw the fib. Bam, bam. That's when you draw. And you go, okay, well, where can I play metrics now? Well, the structure break happened here. Do I want to short that down to the GP? Technically you could. You got a structure break on the 5-minute. Let's look at the 1-minute entries maybe. See if it's any cleaner. Oh, we're going to have to go back to like a 5-day. Because we like to use Fibonacci from longer standing time point high lows and then focus on the 1 5-minute entries. Let's look at the 1 minute. See if it gives us a little better confirmation here. Same thing. Okay, those are our points. Here's the GP. Let's mark it off so maybe it looks a little cleaner for you guys in YouTube land. That's the golden pocket. Creation points, high, low, okay? So falls down here, structure break. Okay, now what's my plan right away in my head? Well, the 100 EMA in the green, which is my favorite moving average, broke over here, back tested here, creating strength, creating the high. Snapped right here. Instantly my head goes, okay, I can short. Well, why can I short? Well, we broke the 100 EMA. It used to be support, Brandon. Well, now it's resistance, right? So once that snapped, I know I have a scalp trade from here to the golden pocket. 8.75 on ES. That's not too bad. I like to trade 2 ES at a time. That's $875. Not a bad scalp. I'm a scalper, right? But what do we know about first tag metrics and why high-low first tag metrics are important? Well, because the first tag generally creates the opposite and opposing move. So when we drew the high-low of the fib, when we got the golden pocket, this over here is the first time price action is going to see the actual golden pocket. Because remember, the creation points, and I know this might seem basic for some of you guys, but I really want to dial this in for the newer members and people that need to know this for fibs. Those are the creation points, okay? That means we don't know anything over here. This is new data, first tags, okay? Beat that into your head, watch that a few times if you don't get it. I have to watch stuff all the time. Over and over and over again. So don't beat yourself up. I watch videos 10, 15 times sometimes. So as it comes down from that creation point, this is the first tag. And what do we know? The first tag can support the opposite move. If we are coming from a high, we're coming into the golden pocket, which we see right here. It is going to be support. So the whole top channel of the golden pocket is support. Look at the friggin' move we have here with confirmations, right? Let's go to the 5-minute to make it a little cleaner, because the 5-minute MACDs are going to be a little bit more important here. We see that the moving averages during the 50 fib are actually hitting the 0 line. Same thing applies. MACD breaks over the 0 line, goes high, comes down to the 0. This is actually support. Temporary, sure, but it's still a first tag support because the MACD is inside that range of the 0 level. The moving averages are coming down to the 0 purple level right here. It's in positive territory, trying to go negative territory on the MACD. But when the moving averages break over the 0 line and come back to, that is still a support first tag for the MACD, okay? Now notice when that MACD moving averages come into support, it's the same time the golden pocket price action is hitting as well. And it did what? First tag, beautiful scalp. It provided you with an entry at the 50. It provided you with a limited risk trade entry exit off just high-low fibs. Down, 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 down. 50 fib, bounce. Okay, Brandon, that's all fine and dandy. Where's our target? Look to your left. What do you see right here? Well, if we draw a fib on this little dude right here, I see a no golden pocket tag of that 5-minute. I also see a no golden pocket tag here. 50% is something I've been teaching for 10 years. 50% of candles. A lot of my members know that half candle retrace is a really big term we use where price action likes to return to the 50. Notice we actually use the 50 waypoint on the RSI. We have it marked on our indicator. The 0 line is also 50% for MACD. The candle positions can give you 50 as well. So look, when it comes down to that support of the fib, pops up, you look to your left, where's my scalp? Well, if I'm long at the golden pocket, the 50, I know my risk. If it breaks under the golden pocket, I got a 7 down, and I look to my left, well, that candle has a fair value gap. That candle has a no 50 tag. I'm going to target at least the 50, 15.5 points up for 7 down, 2 to 1. Great. That is a scalp in how you use all of those metrics. Any questions on this first before we go to the daily weekly? Holy cow, it's almost 30 minutes already passed. What's up, dudes? It's all lateness. Gotta go back and watch. It's okay. I'll be around for questions. Hello from Canada, my friend. What's up, Elon? Sometimes it breaks structure, but then you get scammed. Absolutely. It's all about confirmation. Can you show how not to pick tops? Well, without structure break, it's not a top, right? Use long, we just taught you that. Use daily high-low Fibonacci's, okay? So let's say you were trying to pick tops like all the way back up. Well, if price action is not hitting a long-standing time frame resistance or support, don't pick it. Start with that until you start identifying the price action, which means if you are going up right here, I'm not going to short anything because Brandon told me not to touch a damn thing until a daily fib is hit. You will save your whole life as a beginner trader not touching anything until the golden pocket daily is hit. That's it. Don't touch it. Sit there and watch. I don't care if you miss 100 trades to 1. You are safely and protecting your capital. Don't click the button until a daily fib or a high-low range is hit. That's it. There is no picking tops, because if you're picking a top in the middle of no man's land or a bottom in the middle of no man's land without outside support resistance from a longer standing time frame, if I'm trading the 5-minute chart, I'm watching daily, weekly. Okay. If I'm trading the 1 minute, sometimes I'm using the 5, but mostly daily, weekly. Use longer standing time frames to not pick tops unless you are at an absolute resistance point. Noticed something while charting last night and today, well, zoomed way the crap out, or basically in a huge falling wedge currently. Yeah, unfortunately. 100%. Yep, always zoom out. Okay, I don't see any more questions popping up on those high-low ranges. We're explaining this very slow, very basic, and the more we do this, the more we beat it into your head, the easier this stuff's going to be to see for you guys. And we just keep getting a lot of questions on, well, I don't know what if I don't understand the confirmation. I don't get, well, I shorted here, and then all of a sudden it pushed me out. Okay, let's talk more confirmations and go to the long-term stuff that I just talked about a little bit, right? Let's get into it. So don't touch. We're going to go to NQ because I usually trade the MNQ and NQ after hours, and we're talking after hours because we get better speed here. Ooh, I think I just accidentally, oh no, they're over there. Thought I showed you my short targets on accident. No, you know what? I'll give it to you guys because you're here for the YouTube. This is where ES is going. 53, 93, 75. I have algo displacements right here. I'll see you guys at 5,400. You heard it here first. I don't care how many pops we get. I'll see you at 5,400. Okay. So as we get into NQ here a little bit, I want to talk a little bit about really what Jay is asking right there as well. How do you know? How are we not top picking? How do you know the high-low range? Well, roll the video back again. Remember, we're using contact points. 1, 2, 3 tops, 1, 2, 3 bottoms. We picked a high-low range there, right? Because it had a ton of connecting points. That means that high-low range is great. But how do we just not pick a top? How do we just not short the top? Don't touch the damn thing unless you have a corresponding fib or moving average. If you see candles being created on the screen and all you see is background, don't click it. Okay, that's the easiest way. And I'm not laughing at you. I just think it's a funny concept because I'm yelling about background. It's nothing to do with you. So if I go into here, and we'll just remove this set real quick here and just start fresh. Like if we're popping up right here and we're just randomly, I don't know, like longing a bottom here, and the bottom is dropping out of this shit, and people are just randomly buying this stuff. Why would you buy something with the background has no support? Where is your daily fib? Where is your weekly level? Where is your fib extension? At the very minimal, you guys should be utilizing the candle tag system that I teach right here, where real fast, high-low system here, 100 EMA, VWAP 10. This high-low system right here has a start and finish point, low to high, and that means when it aggressively slices through, that's not a buy zone, obviously. That's not a buy zone. Where's the next buy zone? Oh, 3618. That's your first sign of support. It actually shied it, went up here a little bit, cleaned house. So none of these should have been buy points for you, just picking bottoms, even at an intraday level. Let's talk about daily level and intraday, okay? Let's pound this confirmation in here. Excuse me. Ooh. So let's just take, for instance, these. We have connecting days here. So 325, we're going to fib out. We're going to plan for 326. Okay. Well, we were going to try our hardest. If I could use a computer, you know. your favorite anti-influencer here that knows very minimal about this stuff. Okay, guys. High low of day. We have now fibbed out the high low. We are planning our trade day for 326. Let's get into the confirmations. Now, how do I pick tops and how do I not get smacked? Okay. This is where we do the fibs. This is our trade day. Okay. Okay. Brandon just told me not to long anything until it hits a daily fib. Look at this day. Is that the bottom of the fib? No. Price action hit here? No. Did price action hit here? No. Oh, there it is. Brandon said I can pick a bottom now because it hit a daily fib. Ta-da! It's all about waiting, okay? Waiting. I promise you, if you only focus on daily, don't even touch it if it doesn't. I don't care if you sit here and stare at this all day and you don't get a trade. Good. Be bored. Get used to it, okay? That's how pro traders run. I'm bored all the time. I just talked to my chat about numerology, okay? Patience pays. The rich react, the poor predict. We actually did that quote the other day on accident. I don't know if that's a real quote, but I said it live and it's cool. So we're going to coin it. The rich react, the poor predict. Don't predict anything. React to the level. Don't predict a bottom that doesn't have a support. Don't predict a bottom that doesn't have a support. You understand what I'm saying? Wait till it hits the daily and don't push the damn button, okay? But how do you know it won't go to the 50? Who cares? I'm a scalper. First tag is what I'm trying to teach you, right? How do I know it won't go to the 50? I don't. I'm a day trader. So when it comes and it finally hits the target, I'm going to go long. That's it. Plain and simple. First tag metrics. I don't know what the market's going to do. All I know is when the market tags a daily Fibonacci for the first time, my statistical probability is greater to have an opposing action. That is it. That is how trading works in essence. There is no such thing as being able to magically predict where every single dot. Sometimes I get really lucky, okay? Sometimes I get really good with the fibs. All I'm doing when I use these prediction fibs is where the price action is going to return to the golden pocket. That's it. I don't know where this thing's going to go in 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but I do know that when it hits this daily fib, I have a great chance at counter trend long. And this is a really easy target. Why? Well, VWAP was tagged here. VWAP's my favorite indicator, so is the 100. This is the first time a daily fib is tagged, which means I have a great chance. So how do I not blow my account up? Well, first off, I know some of you guys love all in. Don't all in this shit. Go with a micro. Well, what if it tags here and it goes down to the 50, Brandon? Then buy more. Or stop out. Like it's a red trade. Who cares? It just didn't work. Plan for your next. There's no such thing as being able to, even I get red days. Very slim now, but you know, I have a couple a year and sometimes just trades don't work. You got to get out. Okay. So the first tag metric right here, and you see me take like 4 or 5 scalps, right? And I lock in like $300 to $500 on 5 accounts. That's like $2,000 a day. I just stop touching shit. I don't care where else it's going to go. I'm not going to overtrade it, right? But let's take into consideration that you traded this and it didn't go your way. Brandon said, wait till the daily tag. And he said it was going to bounce here because it usually does. Okay, well, there's no such thing as 100% in the market. We could have a news piece right here from China, something that whack and just snaps you. That's life. That's the market. You know, get used to your probability setups. But if it does come in here and it doesn't hold support and it goes against you, walks away. Size appropriately to your account. Size appropriately. I do this all the time. It's called trade managing. I'll take 1 or 2 micros right here, okay? MNQ, $2 a point. So if I grab an MNQ right here and it goes back up here, 88 bucks. That's pretty dope. That's a great little trade for a single micro. But let's say I'm wrong. Well, what's my next support? If I long the 38.20 and it breaks down to the 50, but what if it goes down to the 50? Buy it again. That's the next support. If I took 1 micro, I'm only down 26 times 2, right? 52 bucks. That's nothing. Buy another micro right here, right? So if you bought here and then you buy another one, your average becomes the 50% way. So if it bounces the 50, if you're sick of that trade, get out at even. Manage the trade. Okay? I'm not trying to yell at you. I get excited. I'm autistic as shit, so it's just fun. Like when it comes into shying and then hits and goes, but what if it goes down? Buy it again. What if it goes down again? Buy it some more, but never over position your account. I trade $2,000 accounts at Topstep and have made over 1,900 to 2,400% in the matter of 30 days on every single one of those accounts. So I'm only trading the micros. I'll buy 1 micro here. And this is what I do a lot of the times on trade management because I know the first tag is fantastic. One of the things I'll also look at is the direction in which we are coming from. If we are coming from the high of that candle and coming all the way down, I know the first tag is going to be greater than, let's say we opened up right here and then we went down to here. What would you say What supports better? The price action that starts farther away and has longer to travel before it bounces, or the price action that starts really close to that level and then hits it? It's obviously the longer drive down, right? So pay attention to how far you've been in trend if you want to get extra confirmation. It doesn't matter if it doesn't slip this. That's just trading. That's just how it works. Oh, the trade didn't work out. Manage it appropriately, because if you're going all in every trade, I got 5 NQ right here and it didn't bounce and I blew my account up, you position too heavy. You don't understand your account size. You know, and I do this with 5 micros to 10 micros at a time. If I buy one right here, okay, no big deal. I'm wrong. It goes down. I'm down $52, like we said. I'm going to buy 4 more right there, because I know the 50 is hella support compared to 38.20. So if I buy one right here and I'm wrong and I'm down $52 and I buy 4, it only needs to pop like 8 points for me to be dead even. And then I'll remove those 4 contracts and I'm down to 1 long again. And then I ride that 1 long all the way back up. Trade management. There's a lot of live trading. If you type in the word live on my YouTube, on the search bar, I actually show you a couple management trades there. I show you my live trades. I show you the scalp speed. Take a peek. I'll try to do some questions here the best I can before we give an account away. I can't believe the time is flying so fast right now, guys. Sorry. Patience. Yes, absolutely. People should be nice, scared enough that your TLT calls up. Yeah, TLT calls are good. Yep. All right, let's get some questions here. What's up, Tammy? How you doing? Please, can you show, please, specifically validation points? It'll be based on fibs and EMAs. First tags. So LPT, the limited risk easy scalps are first tags. Literally the thing I just covered. If you want to come into the easiest thing ever, okay, I'll show you probability of moving average tags and probability of fibs real fast. So I did this one with my class live for the 100 EMA the other day. And we were wrong, but it still worked out. We were just wrong. We had to manage it. And this is the trade day right here. So SPY, this is first tag metrics. First tag, first tag, first tag, first tag, first tag, first tag. You understand me? First tag. And this is also applies to back test, all right? I have to be annoying in some of this because you guys are like, well, what if? No, first tag. If it doesn't do the first tag, don't touch it. It's that simple. I'll show you the limited risk entry right now. Price action opened up 326. It broke through the 100 EMA on the 5-minute chart. Did price action ever return to that 100 EMA? No, which means the next day I go to trade, I know that the algorithms are going to magnet the price action, or at least have a hell of a probability to magnet back to that 100 EMA because the prior day did not. So my limited risk setup, and I was wrong about this one. I was long like here, and I had to manage 101 points to the downside. And what did I have? Micros. So I was only down like $400 or $500 in a $7,000 account. That's not the end of the world. So I bought right when I seen the V reversal recover VWAP, I slammed into my position another 10. So I had a full NQ because I knew that above VWAP, which is my favorite over under, I had a chance to come back to the 100 EMA. Huge chance. We called this V reversal. We were just wrong about the open. I'm wrong all the time, guys. I don't predict this stuff. You know, my ex, sometimes I get it right, a few times I'm sure, but I'm still human. Jeez, I don't know. These computers are tricky. So as this thing breaks down, I knew from that first tag. Now let's talk about another first tag metric real quick. Well, if I did this, let's do high-low real fast. First tag, limited risk. Stop touching this shit unless it touches a fibby, okay? Look at this right here. Okay, you missed the whole trade to the downside. You missed the 100 EMA tag. It finally flew up. I called this short for my group right here. Why? Because it was the first time the SPY seen yesterday's fib. Only short this, long it to the 100. Limited risk first tag. That is how you find the easiest scalps. I have 100% accuracy on my big account right now on trades because I only touch it on here. The other small accounts, I'm a little bit more wild with because they're fun. They're just fun to scalp with. So those are the easy scalps. Question about which way to draw the fibs on the daily. Since candle is green at the bottom, top of the 100. Doesn't matter. Crypto Peep, the fibs are only designed off of what you see for extension. So that's the difference between extension and retracement. It doesn't matter. That's why no matter what, we always look for the prior day. So let's go over that real quick. So for here, why did I draw them to the downside? It doesn't matter. I didn't draw them to the downside for any specific reason at all. I wanted to do the high-low to plan for the next day. But if I was producing a trade, it's a slingshot. If I expect the market to go down, I'm going to start my Fibonacci point on the downside, and I'm going to draw that slingshot back, right, to a high point. And if I let my slingshot go, where does the pebble go? Down. That's where the extensions go, right? And same applies to vice versa. If I take my slingshot and I have my bead here and I pull it back, I fire the bead, the extensions go up. I don't know, why am I drawing to? There we go. So I started here, pulled it back, launched my BB this way. Whatever way you're planning to take the trade, that's which way you draw the Fibonacci. It's simple as that. The high-low range is retracement. So again, let's say I'm planning for, well, yeah, that day was stupid. So like a chop day here, if the price action is inside the Fibonacci, who cares? It has no relevance to which way you draw for the extensions. All I did was I took the current high and the current low of the day, gives me the golden pocket because I'm playing retracement. I am playing, hey, the price action is going to retrace inside the Fibonacci between the 100 and the 0. We're not going to extend outside the Fibonacci to an extension point. See the difference? I'm playing the retracement. I don't care what way you draw the 100 or the 0. It does not matter. Only just use the golden pocket as the golden pocket. Shit, only use the 50 if you want a super, super, super accurate one. Delete this freaking thing right here. Just use the 50. Don't even bother with the 61.8 or the 38.20 or any of that. Do this. Now really don't touch a damn thing until that 50 is tagged. See how ridiculously simple that looks? Happy Saturday. What's up, dudes? Noise and the price people made should be scared enough to me too. Oh yeah, we've seen that one. Yep. Patience. Yep. Real talk. Hurry up and wait. That's exactly what I love to say. That's my favorite one. Do you have a video on how you set your fib indicators? No, sir. These are all stock, brother. These are all stock. This is literally the golden pocket. If you edit your Fibonacci's here, right? I use high-low. The golden pocket for me is just in between the 38.20 and the 61.8. I don't use any other extension. I use the golden pocket as a whole for myself because I scalp too much, plain and simple. If I was smart, I would just use the 0 and the 100 with just the 50, like I showed you guys. Absolute minimal. Maybe we'll do that on stream for a little bit and try it out. Do you have a video on how you set your fib indicator? Oh, I just read that one. Every indicator, Colin, that we have and what we use is on this YouTube channel. There's a video subsection that says indicators we use, shows you the MACD, RSI, and best indicator use. Everything in there, that all those videos are only about 8 to 12 minutes here and there, shows every single indicator I use. Like the Great Wing Gretzky, let's get where the puck's going. Absolutely. Yeah, I like that. Risk management. Yep. So you have to apply. Nobody knows whether a fib is, yeah, nobody knows anything. Nobody can plan for a Trump tweet. I can draw the best fibs in the world, and the Trumpster says, watch this, and drops the T word, tariff on X. My fibs don't mean a damn thing. What happens if it goes past 50? Well, you know, take it up with Trump. He's the one that did it. Patience. I like that, Kavian. That's cool. That's really neat. EMA is just my favorite. It's been my bread and butter. You can use the SMA if you want. It's not if, but when. This is just what my preference is. What I teach, when you come into boiler room training, you start asking as many questions as you can. I can help you identify what works for you. You say, hey, Brent, I really like the 100 SMA. I've been using that forever. I will show you the strategy for the 100 SMA and the best point of interest we can use for confirmation and the best way I can try to help you. If you come in and you're like, I like the 50 EMA and the 13. Oh, okay, let's look at confirmations for both of those because every indicator is right at the right time, okay? Confirmation is how we give ourselves an edge of indicators against the market. Psychology is your edge. Confirmation and not guessing. Again, the rich react, the poor predict. Just about to start trading lines of fib. Absolutely, dude. I'm with you. Yo, what's up, Carlos? How you doing, man? Pull back to based on the 50 first, and then 618. Yep. So I always want to see the 50 first. Yeah, absolutely, Crypto P. So if you're using fibs like that, that's the old school way. Everybody only uses the 618. So again, if some people, I like the whole pocket because I scalp first tags. I say that a lot, right? So first tags for me, like the first time we broke through the golden pocket top right here at 568.64, that's a break, which means confirmation would say we could return to that level. That's a first tag. So I would just scalp that. I scalp those all the time. Sometimes I do 40, 80, 150 lots, but they're on micros, 60 bucks, 80 bucks, 100 bucks. I like to be proficient in my fast trading. That's just my style. I enjoy it a lot. It's fun for me. I can rack out 150 green days consecutive on that. I've proved it. We've posted it. We have the back testing. Everything's posted on YouTube. So no one can contest that. Payouts are there. And I can't lie about a Topstep login consistency, which I show damn near every single day on the site. So it's there, my friend. It's just what we got. He gets you, yep. Only use the 50. So absolutely, go ahead and do it, man. Your trade style is super important. I love scalping first tag. I like to see ranges as well. So my visual, it helps me a lot to have this box, you know, it just visually, because if the price action is coming down and it's flowing, my brain just picks up the box a little better with the whole golden pocket. Some people are super good at only using the 50, but when I see price action kind of break through the 50 kind of test, you know, trend, I know that if the trend, like right here, for example, it broke into that GP50 and it snapped, I could have predicted this drop right here myself, because the golden pocket 568.64, the 61.8, it had a structure break right here and it tagged VWAP. That's a lower low. This is high, higher low, pain, lower low. And because it broke the 618, I could have predicted this next downside move for an attempt to go to the lower golden pocket. So the scalp would have been from the top of the pocket to the bottom of the pocket because of this candle structure break. So again, there's many ways to use full pockets, only 50s. And for me, I'm very fast at scalping a lot of the time. So a break of the 5 minute here, I only had about 10 minutes to take that trade to the downside, but I would have seen a structure break. And then I would have seen, oh, okay, we're getting stuck under the 100 EMA. We're getting stuck under the 10 SMA. We're getting stuck under the first golden pocket. And if I only use the 50, I would have never been able to predict this drop into the next lower low, which if I was trading that one, I probably would have been able to pick it up. So there's lots of ways to use it. Absolutely, man. Look up Martinegel approach for adding at levels. It can be dangerous if you aren't disciplined. I hear you, buddy. Still learning something every video. Hey, man. Thanks, Dylan. We're here for the basics, man. It's all about, you know how many times I still, to this day, will go back and just read and watch old videos all the time. I always pick up something else. No problem, Con. Use VWAP day and week. You like VWAP day and week? Nope. I only use the volume. So the volume weighted average price on Thinkorswim or any standard indicator only starts when the volume starts on the day. So the VWAP right here, this is not an anchor VWAP. This is the regular volume weighted average price study, which starts at the open of pre-market and calculates throughout the day. This is not daily. It's not weekly. It is the same on every time frame because it starts at the date point. So the VWAP on the 5 minute is going to be the exact same as the VWAP on the 1 minute, which is going to be the exact same in the 15. It's going to be the exact same. It does not matter. So it's all going to be the same. Unless you're using anchor VWAPs, which we have a whole video on from last week. Check her out if you want. Next P, eye opener. Daily untouched fibs. Also notice that the VIX OP is working its way back 100%. Yep. 3 daily untouched. Yeah, exactly, Crypto P. And that's what people tell me all the time. You can't predict the vol. You can't use technical analysis on the volatility. Okay, watch me do it every single day then. Why am I right about where the gaps are and where the Fibonacci is and where the bounce points are in VIX if you can't use technical analysis? It's the same thing. I do it every day. We stream this live. We talk about it every single day. I would not have a job for 9 years if I was incorrect about certain indicators, you know? Exactly. It's all in your style. Absolutely. You need to adhere to what you can. Volume scale side probability, like 168. Yeah, I love the 1618. That's what my first scalp targets are always 1618. I can end my whole day trading with just Fibonacci's on a 1618. I know exactly the process to watch for my breakouts and my first tags, the speed in which it reaches the 1618. All of those things matter. They have to be journaled about, right? So when I see speed into the 1618 and then it reverses real fast, and I'm like, oh, I know, or if it blows through the 1618, I know we have a higher probability chance to keep going through the 1618. All I got to do is see it on the chart and we can react to it. How would you play if the price broke above the 100 fib again? Which example? Brisso? Shoot me I'm open for DMs on X, guys. If you go on X and ask me a question, I will answer you. I have nothing to do. When I sold my businesses and retired, you know, I still work at my business I'll call it partial retire years ago. I have no problem helping everybody for free. I don't have anything to do, man. I'm just a trader that just has a good time on this. I'm not a social media influencer, so I have no money that I make here on YouTube or doing half this crap matters to me. I'm a real trader. I don't care about any of that stuff. So if you have questions, sometimes I don't see exactly what you're seeing here because it's more about confirmation trading. So it doesn't matter like what happens if something breaks or you know, like when you have a chop day. Well, what if it returns to the Fibonacci multiple times? Well, it's just confirmation. You got to watch structure. Okay. So if we were talking like the chop right here where there's a high-low range and you get confused where you get a high-low range and like, all right, well, what are we doing here? Well, came up and it broke and then it retested and it broke the 100 again. So see, if this kind of answers your question right here, you're focused on, you got to zoom out. It's not just the fibs. It's not just 100. It's other things. You got to stack those catalysts. If I use a high-low range like we've been talking about right here, right? Comes down, shies the bottom, breaks but fails. And then it breaks down under the 100 again. And it goes up to the 1618 and shies it. What do we know about that? Breaks back down, holds the golden pocket, returns. But what if it just chops the 100? So what? So what if it chops the 100? Zoom out, look at the trend. Higher high in structure, higher low in structure, higher high in structure. A little bit of a scam, but what did it do? It held the golden pocket still of the fib range, right? Follow the trend. That is your friend. It is a simple old saying where if I'm pointing the fibs to the upside because Brandon said, hey, we got a higher high, but the fib range is from back here. We got a high low. Ooh, we broke out of the 100 and then we created a higher low. You have a statistical advantage to go up because it's structured, right? It's trend. Simple as that. Higher low is right here. Here's the low. Correct. The VWAP is going to be different because of the starting point. So we only use it. I used anchor VWAPs a lot now. So check out the last video if you want on the weekends. But just for intraday purposes, it just starts wherever the pre-market volume is. Yep. I mean, if you do, I don't use it anywhere else but intraday is because it's just a VWAP. Just you can put it on any old candle like we put in last week's video. Check out the anchor VWAPs. Those are actually really fun. I use this as just a basic guide of the day on 1 and 5. I don't pay a single attention on weekly, daily. Nope. Scalps. Oh, that was your okay. Let them think that. Yeah, exactly. I don't care. People say that all the time. You can't technical analysis. You can't do this. Well, okay, you can't. If you want to try and put your limitations on me, that's fine. Like I'm just going to continue to live, man. Anything can be charted, even the weather. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, the weatherman can have jobs being wrong 24/7 here, and still have a job. Since you tried off the QQQ, you copy the fibs on the NQ. Nope. I only do the fibs on the QQQ. I don't even care what NQ is doing if QQQ is open. I don't bother with it one bit. The only trade examples that we had in the morning there, or the early part of the session, was because of the after hours traders. Get a lot of questions from that, but nope, I could give two burgers to what's happening on the NQ. All I care about is what's happening on the SPY or the QQQ for ES and NQ. I don't even look at the NQ chart. I trade it completely off QQQ. Is first tag what I'm saying? Is it? I don't know. I don't know how many times I said it. Hey, oh yeah, look at that. Welcome, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in. Let's give away an account. $50 to anybody I pick since we're ending the stream here. My kiddos just got home with the family. All right, let's do it. You better have commented on all the videos this week. I'm going to ask AI here to pick a day of the week, and it's going to tell me one of the days of the week here, and we're going to go grab it from YouTube, and it's going to be Monday through Friday like we do every Saturday today, and we go, all right, AI, what day of the week? Friday, yesterday. $6,500 clean free. The lowest view and the lowest comment video we probably have because it was yesterday's video. Hopefully you guys commented. All right, YouTube comment picker. Let's give away an account. Anybody who commented on yesterday's video has a chance to win. We put it in. Oh, excuse me. What is that? God, blind. Okay, get the comments. How many comments we got? 23. One of you 23 are about to win 50 bones. Again, you don't got to buy a Topstep account. I just say that. It's a $50 win. Let's go. It's Mr. Anderson Y2J. What's up, dude? Should have just stayed short. Me too, dude. I remember that comment. I just commented on yesterday. Hit me up. You got Venmo? You got PayPal? Hit me up on X, or if you're in the chat, leave me a comment. Just get to me. Mr. Anderson, congrats, dude. Congrats, my friend. $50 winner. I'm not sure by that YouTube name if you're in our chat or not, but congrats, buddy. Hey, there he is. Awesome. 50 bones for you, dude. Let's go. Hit me up on X with your email that is attached to a Venmo or a PayPal account, and $50 coming your way. That is like our 7th winner now. Coming up. I think we're going to give away a few more for next week. So thank you for tuning in, guys. Same rules apply. We're going to make videos Monday through Friday every day for just a little recap. If you got questions, please comment them, because then I can cover shorts or other videos. I got time. I got nothing but time, partially retired here. All we do is hang out with my kids and work on this stuff and one of my other businesses. That's it. Hit me up, man. Any little other questions you guys got? Love to answer. I got about 2 minutes left. I know this is the video. No, it is not, Corey. Nope. I was hoping for, nobody could have, I mean, even the long-term predictions of what we're seeing in 2025. No, absolutely not. We're actually, what happened in 23 and 24 is happening again. I wanted to see a bottom closer to 24 and up, and it came super early, all right, a little middle, 23, and then flew up. No one can predict the Trumpster. So no, 2025 is not playing out accordingly to how I would have liked to see it. It's still going to be relevant for option selling, which I will, go over, and I'll post my plays on X for free this time. for everybody if you follow me over there when I sell the big ones for the end of 2026 and whatnot. But right now, Trump is going crazy, and no mathematician of any Fibonacci historical value of any kind could have predicted that. So nope, unfortunately not. But we'll get there. Can you do a video on confirmations? Absolutely, Jay, for sure. Let's do a video purely on confirmations. I'm going to write it down right now, and I will do one this week just for you, dude, by Tuesday. Just look for extra confirmation. We'll just go over all sorts of confirmation. I don't care if it's a moving average, a fib, anything. I'll write it down right now. Confirmation video by Tuesday out for you guys. If I could learn how to use a phone. There we go. Confirmation videos. Cool. You got it, buddy. Thanks, man. Good stuff. No, thanks, guys. You're a badass to kind of share everything. Your knowledge. Oh, yeah, I got nothing else to do, brother. I've already made it here. We're done. Thank you, though. Intro on video, handle multiple accounts. Oh, what did I skip here? Can you do a Topstep intro video on how to handle? Yeah, sure. Well, it's not really how to handle. I just link them, dude. Like, this is how I just trade it like one account. If you want to jump off, like, it's just X5. So like my 5 Express accounts right here you see on the screen. These are my 5. I just keep them linked. That's it. There's no real, I don't have a secret sauce on how to play multiple, dude. I just link them all. I just play it as one account. If I blow one up, I'm blowing all 5 up. I don't care. It's just, I know what I'm doing for trading. If I'm going to blow one, I know I'm going to blow 5, but all these accounts, I can't even add that. I can't even read that, but we're at like 70,000, just under 70K in payouts since February in Topstep, I think. And then we got another about 50 grand waiting in account bounces to go live. So, but I don't really have anything for you on multiple accounts. I literally just link them and play. If I see some other crazy stuff, maybe I'll unlink them and play one account just for funsies, so I don't risk all 4 if I'm real bored. But I don't suggest to do that. Actually, it's pretty crappy advice. I thought we would get more of a bounce before. Yeah, 100%, man. I was hoping for 100 EMA, GPs, all sorts of stuff. No, and I was ready to short that dead cat bounce so bad, but we needed to stay over the 200s. I agree 100%. We did not stay over the 200s, and that was unfortunately, our danger sign that we talked about. If we cannot recuperate those 200s and hold the 10 SMA on that upside like we made in the last couple of videos, it was going down, and unfortunately it did. Do a video of rules of confirmation. Okay, I'm going to add rules right to that confirmation. So extra rule set, confirmation video with extra sets of rules. So we're going to talk about trend rules, high-low rules, and don't be stupid rules. I'm dead serious. I'm going to add that in there because definitely need that. Thanks. Yep, no problem, guys. Thanks. Have a good weekend. Take care. Link is through Topstep. I am not affiliated with Topstep. Yeah, link. Oh, the link to the accounts. Yeah, that's literally, you can link 5 accounts right through the settings, dude. You just go right to settings, copy trading in the settings right here. Pick your account you want to copy trade. Click, 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 save. That's it. They're linked. Now you just got to pick the lead account. Go nuts. Now make sure your lead account, it'll say leader +4 right here. That's it. That's how I link them. Sometimes if you want to do like 2 and 2, or if one of your accounts is suffering where you can't link the big with the small. So you can't have a small account follow a big one. So if you got like 10 grand in one account, you can't have the 10,000 lead the 2,000. So you do have to use your biggest account leading. Topstep X, sorry, is the platform. You can't use Trade-of-8, can't use anything. Topstep X is also the platform. I missed that. Have a good weekend, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Can't talk about that, Rob. That's illegal. That'll get you banned. Thanks. A good weekend. Stay healthy. You as well, my friend. All right, that should conclude. I think it's 1. Oh, yeah, it's 1. All right, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Again, we're going to be giving away accounts all week. Please like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. So leave a comment here, and we'll give away some more stuff. This last giveaway here, I'm going to do in the Discord for all the members. We're going to give away for my Discord members, as promised, a free month. And what I'm going to have you guys do is we're going to do a poll, and I'm going to do a live draw on the Monday. So I don't know how to do it on live because I didn't figure it out. So the free month for us, guys, I'm just going to take everybody that goes in the poll. We're going to make it for Monday morning, and we will give away from my private group in our Discord just a month for free, just because you're a member at BRT, just for helping us out, just for hanging out. A lot of loyal members. We've had some members for years in our chat. You guys are just awesome. So let's give away some. We'll see you guys Monday for that on the giveaway. So please take care for the rest of the weekend. Always trade safe and get some rest, man. Get away from the charts. Take care. Thanks, guys.